November, let's look at a Thanksgiving themed horror movie. This is Thankskilling. Okay, I found two descriptions for this movie. One says, a possessed turkey terrorizes 5 college students during Thanksgiving break. And the other one says, a homicidal turkey axes off college kids during Thanksgiving break. So the movie begins with the killer turkey sock puppet, which honestly looks as good as the killer snowman in the Jack Frost movies, chasing after a pilgrim lady with her tits hanging out and kills her. And we're introduced to our cast of stereotypes, characters. You have the jock, the normal girl, the slutty girl, the fat redneck guy, and the nerdy guy. They then drive off to go party, but they end up having some car trouble and break down for the night, and then they set up camp by the road in the woods. Like, where did the camping supplies come from? Like, okay, the beer, that makes sense why they have that. They established that they have beer. Where did the camping supplies come from? With all that going on, you have a homeless guy in the woods with his dog, and the dog pisses, and then that's what brings the turkey puppet back to life. Yeah, it's almost like they were trying to be like Nightmare on Elm Street 4 with the dog that pisses fire that brings Freddy back to life. It feels like that's what they were trying to reference, I guess. The turkey is now back to life. The turkey kills the dog, and so the homeless guy swears vengeance, grabs his shotgun. Meanwhile, with our main crew of dumbasses, they are talking about the possibilities of a killer turkey because of like some ancient legend or something.
The old Indian was so outraged, Feathercloud necromanced turkey.
Next day, the homeless guy finds our teens and tells them about the killer turkey. And, okay, this is one of the problems with the movie. Inconsistency. When the nerdy guy tells the myth about the killer turkey, the jock believes it. The next day, when the hobo tells them that there's a killer turkey on the loose, the jock doesn't believe it. Like, what? And speaking of inconsistency, then you get to the editing, as you have really clumsy editing stuff like this.
Looks like somebody's trying to get with you, Johnny.
Haven't you noticed? She tries that with everyone. It's like her legs are harder to shut than the John Benet Ramsey case.
Oh shit! Dang! Damn, that was good!
Bye, guys!
Shit, that was good! It was, man, that was a good one.
Not only was that joke not funny, they felt the need to do it twice. And the way they handled it there, with that sloppy-ass editing, oh my god. So after the turkey hitches a ride into town, he slowly kills off characters one by one. He kills off the jock's family. He kills the slutty girl after doing this.
Yeah. You just got stuffed!
He kills main girl's father, who's the town sheriff, which I really don't see what was the point of having him be the sheriff. I seriously don't get, like, it wasn't even like important to the story whatsoever. The only kind of funny part in this whole movie is the part where the sheriff is dressed up like a turkey, because apparently that's a thing people do on Thanksgiving. The turkey is wearing Groucho Marx glasses, and they have this awkward conversation around the table. That was probably the funniest thing in the whole movie.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty damn awkward, Sheriff. I'm gonna take off now. Say hello to Kristen for me, okay?
Oh, no problem.
After some of these characters have gotten killed off, our main little ragtag team decide to start reading up and to see if they can find a weakness for this killer turkey or whatever. Also, the turkey killed the sheriff and skinned his face, and people just think that it's a real person until he takes off the mask. That wasn't that funny. If you haven't seen this movie, you can probably pick up from what I'm describing. This is supposed to be a self-aware horror comedy, similar to Jack Frost 2 and a bunch of other so bad they're good movies that we've reviewed before on Blockbusters. You know, there is a way to do it right. I've said before, I'll say it again. Killer Clowns from Outer Space was probably the best example of that, because not only was it a funny concept that they executed well, but it actually looked like a real movie, which is what helped the absurdity of it. With a lot of these kind of movies, like Jack Frost 2, this, Birdemic 2, all of these kind of movies, they don't look like real movies, and that's what hurts them, in my opinion. There's like one or two kind of funny things, but other than that, like, this movie just feels like it's trying way too hard. Looking at this movie, from the way it's filmed, the way it was written, it looks like a high school project. That's what the whole movie feels like. The turkey explains his motives for why he's killing people, blah blah blah, that's not important, who cares. He kills off the fat redneck kid, and so now our team has decided they're going to take action as they decide to hunt the turkey down. They find him in a teepee on the side of the road because, and they're about to kill him, but then the hobo with the shotgun shows up and shoots it. And you think that's where the movie would end, right? No, turns out the turkey ends up in toxic waste. Because why not? Main girl, jock, and nerd are watching Night of the Living Dead on TV because it didn't cost them any money to spend on that. Nerdy guy gets killed, the jock gets bitten in the chest, and he slowly bleeds out and dies. So it's up to main girl, who then sets the radioactive turkey on fire, and then she eats what's clearly a chicken leg, not a turkey leg, and also that it's radioactive. Why would you eat that? The movie ends with a fake setup for a sequel where we see a family around the dinner table with stock music that sounds like it was straight out of The Room. They put a turkey on the table, the turkey then gets up.
Do I smell sequel?
Because clearly all the horror movies about going to space have been just classics, right? You know, Jason X, Critters 4, that Hellraiser sequel, Leprechaun 4. This was obviously straight to video, but it just felt like, yeah, we're gonna make it because it's kind of funny. Straight to video. All in all, I honestly just put this on par with Jack Frost 2. It's bad. It's trying to be a self-aware, like, horror comedy, and I give him some props, I guess, but really, the production is cheap, the effects suck, the killer turkey puppet is the best prop in the whole movie, and it looks like shit. All the acting sucks. My favorite things I just remembered is there's parts where people are outside and they probably couldn't scream the lines because then people would look at them, so they just whispered the lines instead.
Thanksgiving break! Yes! Yes! My wife! Now you flashy! Damn you, turkey!
Yeah, that's really all I could say. It's on par with Jack Frost 2. It's bad, but honestly, considering that earlier this year I had to sit through Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, I hesitate calling this one of the worst movies I've looked at this year, so... You know, as critical as I was of certain movies from Full Moon Pictures like Evil Bong and Ginger Dead Man, at least there was some creativity in their stupidity. This is as bare bones as a self-aware horror comedy gets. It's a fucking terrible-looking sock puppet killer turkey going around killing dumbass teenagers. That's it. That's Thankskilling. So, yeah, that's basically it for the Blockbusters. Look forward to our Christmas episode coming up in December. We're going to be looking at a good movie for once, kind of going back to tradition because we used to look at good movies and then we kind of broke that tradition last year with Jack Frost 2. But now we're going to be looking at a genuine Christmas classic for this year's Blockbuster Christmas episode. I'm Adam Sykes, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Go enjoy Thanksgiving already, okay?
Gobble gobble, motherfucker.